Today I'm going to be drawing an angelfish. So this fish is basically a giant wedge with some very funny looking fins at the end of its body. At the top and bottom end it has some very unusual fins. So this looks more like a citrone, so a lemon in terms of body shape, and it's very much bigger on the underside, and then it goes like a bit flat, and then it becomes a more slim wedge at the front end. So this fish has a more slim front end, it has a small mouth, and this is pretty much how the fish looks like in terms of its main body. So here's the fish. Let me bring it a little closer. So this is the fish basically, but it has some details that make it a little harder to draw, because this fish, as far as fishes go, has an unusual body. So it has the usual beady fish eye. The eye is about here. It is very big compared to its body, but the main eye that actually sees is not too big. It's like a chameleon's eye. So it looks like this pretty much, and then the outer perimeter limits of the eye. So the mouth, let's make it a little more prominent. It has lips that are very small, not the big normal fish lips that we know. And now that we have the main things going on, here is a little inlet for its gill, and then we are getting to the main part, which is the fins. So this fish has two big things going on for it. First, it's striped, it's like a zebra, and the second, it has very interesting fins. So let me just make its fins here. The fin has a longer tail underside, so this end is longer and it goes like a string, whereas the other parts are more fleshy. But in real life, when you see this fish, it's not like the ocean sunfish, which has very meaty actual appendages. This is actually very transparent. So this fish has transparent fins, but the up and topper fin, so the up and bottom fin, are actually not as transparent as you would expect, especially around the big parts that move the fin itself. So let me just bring this to its actual shape. So the fun part is the fins are actually two-parted. The first part is the sail part, which is transparent, and then you get the other part that moves the fin, that's fleshy and meaty, and that part is colored. It has small barbs sticking out, and it is very much the aesthetic part of the fish's fins. So something like this. This part is transparent, like this part. This fish has its fin moving stems as very fleshy, and then just transparent and very thin fin general bodies. The skeleton is very fleshy and thick, and then the fin sails are very thin, and aesthetic wise the beautiful part is the main part that moves the fins. So here, let's say the fin has this part going for it, and then the rest is the very aesthetic part that moves the fin. So it is something like this, and then the barbs continue to the main body of the fish. Yeah, so this is pretty much the main body of the fish. Now, before we make the fish's small details, we still need two more fins. The main fins are here. These are long and like whiskers. So it goes like this in this end. They're long and thin and not really too thick with meat. but they give the fish some character. And that's why I really enjoy drawing this zebrafish or angelfish. I believe this is called mainly both a zebra angelfish. So the small stripes going to the fin stem we draw. I like drawing like this, very dirty strokes, because it is more forgiving and it creates a better looking aesthetic, to me at least. So now we need to give it the stripes in both the lower and upper fins, because this thing has a lot of stripes. So from the stripes, I mean it has the unstriped parts that I'm going to mark down. That is pretty much this. So the unstriped fin stems on the down lower fin do exist, but on the upper fin the stripes go into the body. Here it is more just a dark body part, like the zebra colors that it has, the dark zebra color it has here, and then it ends about here. Then it has some stripes, but for the sake of clarity in this picture, the fins are going to remain fairly unstriped. Maybe a very thin aesthetic stripe here going like this, like an actual fish, and a little like this. And yeah, so the tail fin is basically done. Now I'm going to erase the one little imperfection I've made. Yeah. And now I'm going to fix the little border issue, and yeah. So now we are going to be making the little stripes that connect the fish's fin to the main body. So this is how it moves its fin. It needs these stripes so that it can actually move its fin. The fin stripes I'm making, and the stripes keep going on until it reaches its body, but it kind of curves inside in this little bit because it gets like an arc. So here it is more starting off horizontal like that, and then turning into the usual arcs that we see, but it doesn't go too much like that because this fin starts not from the body stem itself, but from this part. So it actually has a very lower body heavy main body, and that gives this fish a more like swimming wedge look, I would say. It's the wedge that can swim. So here I put the stripes down, and the lower fin is basically done. So I'm going to mark the places where I'm going to put some zebra markings, and I'm going to put the markings there. Here some zebra marking. In the long fins, the zebra markings basically just mark the inside line, so I'm just going to put it as well. The inside line like this. So what about the eye? So the eye is basically half black, half white. On the eyelid, the eye itself is just black, and then it's got this look going on for it. The eye has a stripe, which reminds me of the anime character from Bleach, Ulquiorra Cipher, because he also had an eye stripe, and maybe it was kind of inspired by this fish, but probably also from a leopard. But still, I like to think that the creator of the anime also liked fish like I do. So here I darken the body lines a bit so that they don't get lost. Yeah, so basically now we have the main fish drawn, but it is not done yet. And this fish is very detailed, so the more detail we want to put, the more detail you can, but we are going to have a very convincing yet simple drawing of this fish this time, because you can also put the scales, but that's very time intensive and that's not very fun to watch. So I'm going to do what's called a pro gamer move, and I'm going to give the barbs here, some body connection. The fish's anatomy is important to know, because you can always draw something that resembles a fish, but the small details make up which fish it is. And so you kind of like to pay attention to the details. So now here I'm going to be giving it stripes again. The stripes can be kind of liberally given, but they need to be mostly uniform and mostly plausible. So it wouldn't be really realistic if you give the stripes, the spikes for the fins, a very big empty space, and then the other ones are just stuck together like sardines. That would look unbelievable and kind of ugly. So now we have the main fish done. This is the fish itself, and what we are going to give it is the stripes. So the stripes are continued, and this is going to be the main black stripe of the body. So it goes like this, and it's going to go like this. So the main body is going to have this stripe going like this, like this. This fish is going to, so remember the transparent part and the fleshy part. Now most of the fleshy part of this fish on the upper is actually marked black. So it's going to be like this, and it's going to be given a darker tint. But it's not done yet, because we have a very faint line that also spans the main body line of the fish. It goes up until this barb. You go up, slowly drawing, and you go connected to this big line. And then there's the last one that kind of goes like this and ends around here. So this is the main body lines of the fish. Now I'm going to color these zebrafish, angel zebrafish body lines. Is it an angel zebrafish or a zebra angelfish? I am not sure. Probably a zebra angelfish. I believe this body shape is more for the angelfish species. So here I'm just covering the area with a primitive stroke that just gives it some tint without being too realistic, but it still gives it texture and still gives it the required color, so that this fish has the natural texture that you would find it with. Because if you don't give it this texture, it just ends up being a normal angelfish, and then the zebra part just falls apart, which you do not want, because you are drawing a specific type of angelfish, not just any. So let's say it is basically done. This is a zebra angelfish, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, comment, and subscribe for more drawing in real time videos like this.